an area that I think will be much of interest will be, creating awareness and building the capacity of Ghanaians in terms of digital literacy. So that, for example, my grandmother who is in a village is not afraid to use WhatsApp or even text or even Facebook.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Africa iShare podcast. So tonight we're doing the second part of discussion on Ghana, and we have Kweku with us. And I have to say, I mention his name wrongly sometimes. He will introduce himself a bit more. Today we'll be speaking more on Ghana and the innovative side and the tech side. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I hope you'll learn a bit. We'll compare it to the situation in Kenya, even if I am suspecting that there's quite a lot of things in common between Kenya and Ghana on this. But welcome, and please introduce yourself, pronounce your name right, and then we'll get started.
Great. Greetings, everyone, and thank you, Africa iShare, for having me again on this platform. My name is Kweku Obobisa. I am a Ghanaian by birth, and I work with an international organization as a project coordinator. I've lived in Ghana all my life, traveled recently to the UK just to experience how life is also on the other side. Normally, I sit with friends. I love to sit with friends and discuss matters arising in the country, discuss football, basketball, and other sports and activities. And it's always a great pleasure to be on iShare, Africa iShare, because of the learning exposure and experience that it gives to me and other listeners globally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kweku. And yeah, I met Kweku while he was traveling to London, and I was there attending one of the Commonwealth Africa Summit and Africa iShare. So it's very nice to have made this connection because clearly we are all benefiting from learning about Ghana. So let's first set the scenario, set the context for us, Kweku, about Ghana and what's the tech side like. Are people quick to adopt tech solutions that are given? Is there any local, tech solutions that are given? What does it look like in Ghana?
Thank you very much, Christine. I think this question clearly directs my mind to what we are facing currently as a country and the kind of future that we want to see. Everywhere people are preaching digital space and, the influence of technology. And in Ghana, it's more like you're looking at various elements and sectors together. You have a social dimension that is looking at creating an equitable and a healthy, prosperous society for every Ghanaian. And so you have education and training in there. You have health in there. You have food security. You have employment and youth. Another area where you're looking at the economic side, where you have the production of goods and services, that agriculture comes in mainly. And then you have industrial transformation also in there. You're looking at our environmental areas where clearly science and then technology and innovation also comes in really hard. And then the top of it, you can look at the governance aspect of it, where we, developing policies and frameworks in order to bring all these sectors together. Now, obviously, we are faced with challenges and limitations in terms of resources, cost-wise, quality, and then time. And that will mean that as country, we have to be very innovative. And so when you look at our education and training sector, for example, I remember that formerly, students who graduate from high school would have to wait for about a year for headmasters of second cycle schools to meet together under one workshop and select their names and their results using hard copy, and then place these students within the various second cycle schools, and then they paste it on their notice board for students to go in there to go and look at the schools that they've been placed. But now we have the computer placement system, which is an innovative one here in Ghana. You just stay in the comfort of your home. The computer places you in a school. You get a text message and then you know that you've been placed here. And then you look at health sector also, of course, with COVID-19. Um, COVID-19 taught us that we can have governments, fast tracking most of these policies to help us get things done in time. With the influx of nose masks, Ghana now gave contracts to local tailors to just sew nose masks, which I believe created employment, not necessarily relying so much on the foreign China and then the other industries, top industries out there. Then you look at areas such as agriculture, even looking at the land acquisition processes, and then the preparations, people using cutlass, outmoded methods of farming. Now you have the influx of technology coming in. People are willing to use hybrid seeds in order to get more yields. People are not relying so much on family labor where they give birth to so much, so many people. Now with technology, you are able to prepare your land and then grow your seeds and get a bounty harvest. And then also looking at the tourism industry where Kenya is doing so well. I'm always excited when I mention tourism and creative industry, especially in reference to Kenya, where I know we can get so much ideas to come in, and then science and technology. So on the whole, Ghana, we're doing a lot in terms of trying to develop domestic solutions to our problems and not rely so much on our outmoded practices as well. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's good to hear. And as you're speaking, I was that things very familiar with what you're saying. Like for instance, on the agriculture side in Kenya, there's been a solution that has been developed. Different solutions actually, where especially because people rely on the rain cycles, so being able to better predict when to plant, but then also like which crops do better in certain areas, because you see planting something that's not good for your area because that's what you can afford, again means that you not get good harvest. So there's been an equal kind of creativity that side on that side. There was a point at which from my understanding, like on the tourism side, the Kenyan wildlife, they were trying to get a digital way of tracking, like how many elephants are out there in the wild, how many lions, and such things, just to manage the parks. I don't know how well it's working. I don't know, but I know there was that project that was being done. Even if I met someone who manages elephants at some point, and they seemed to have quite a good knowledge of the populations out there based on some system that we're using. So yeah, it's quite interesting. These areas for innovative solutions that the two countries are seeking. So quickly, if I may ask, when we go to like e-commerce platforms, and in this case, we are speaking about like Jumia or Amazon equivalent or eBay. How much is that in Ghana? How much do people shop online? Like for bread, milk, groceries. How much do they shop in Ghana? And then also social media platforms. So I'll give you an example. Like in Kenya, there's quite a lot of selling that happens through Instagram and Facebook. So you find someone has a shop, although they have a physical shop somewhere, uh, then they post their items on Instagram, because you see, of course, it's greater reach through Instagram, and then you can promote Instagram posts at not very expensive cost. Same with Facebook. So you'll find that, especially after 2020, when a lot of things went online, the small businesses that could not afford to have platforms like Amazon or big ones, what they did is that you create an Instagram account and post there, and then arrange for delivery. Personally, I've gone to such sites when I'm looking for something, and at least get quotations or get the conversation going with the sellers. Is that a common thing in Ghana? What's the situation like?
Yes, Christine, it is gradually catching up here in Ghana, especially the post-COVID era, where Ghana's digital economy is, coming up to speed. But still, it's a function of various factors: our internet speed, um, the payment platforms. Currently, Jumia works really well here in Ghana. Amazon, no, you cannot ship to Ghana. Um, you're looking at certain things that you know people are really into, which is the e-commerce, like you rightly mentioned. People are posting their products online on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter. Um, People are even now engaged in drop shipping where the commodities may not be theirs, but they will tend to advertise for others in their own shops. Um, some people also have YouTube channel, yes, which they're using to just get businesses up and going. But you realize that in Ghana, most people are looking into fashion. That is more on the top side, looking at fashion, and then electronics and gadgets also. Most people just directly go into the search engine and just type, for example, if I'm looking for a Samsung A2 here to buy in Ghana, I'll just type that in Google and make reference to Ghana. Then I'll get a shop in Ghana where they're selling that product. And then some people would also go straight to the company website. For example, CompuGhana is one of the top businesses here in Ghana that sells computers and other gadgets. And so when we go to CompuGhana, you just log in what you want to buy, computer this, the specs, and then it shows you the various products that they have. But you would realize that through all these means, people do not normally pay outright. For example, after they have gone through shopping, adding to their cart, 65% of them will just want to pay online after offline, sorry, after they have received the product. That is through cash. And then very few people, maybe around 30, 35, would want to connect their credit details, debit cards to such an online platform and then make that payment. It was not even until recently that we Ghana had this registration of e-commerce business that said that um, companies such as Facebook, Google, Netflix, they should now register with Ghana so that they'll be able to operate within the space. Other than that, it used to be a free space where people could just go in there, advertise their products, and then make purchases for whatever it is that they needed. I hope it's in line with what's happening in Kenya.
Okay, well, I think in Kenya it's a bit more because we have the payment system called M-Pesa. So M-Pesa is a mobile payment system which is offered by Safaricom, which is a big telco in Kenya company. So it has associations with Vodafone. But M-Pesa is what happens is that you make payments through your mobile phone, and you don't need to have internet access to make payment. So I would say, and a big population, I would say almost everyone in Kenya uses M-Pesa because because it's first of all it's only other than the charges, and you don't need to have internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So even someone without internet access can use M-Pesa. So
Oh,
based
good.
on how it has been developed, and then most government systems right now are not receiving cash payments. They are receiving payments through
Okay.
mobile money. So so
Wow.
like
Okay.
for instance, the basic of the basic government services. So let's say for instance, I lost my national identity card and I needed it to be replaced. Everything is right. I go to the portal. I make whatever application I need to make. I pay online. Let's say I want to renew my driving license. Um, I just go to the portal. I need not go anywhere else. I just need to go to the government portal, complete my details, pay through mobile money, and download the license. So almost everything has gone online, and all payments and there's various payment systems that go through mobile phone. So there's M-Pesa, there's Airtel Money. Those are the main ones. And if you have an online business in Kenya, debit card and card payment systems are not that big. So that if you just have mobile money payment system, then you can receive payments on your platform. And people have now gotten used to like being comfortable with making payments from their M-Pesa through the online system. Mainly because you can also reverse payments. So it has been created in such a way that people have become more and more comfortable, paying for things online. only that, I think people are still not very trusting of all manner of e-commerce platforms. So, for instance, like Jumia has been around for a while, but I remember, like, personally, when I first started shopping on Jumia, I wasn't paying for in advance. I would wait for the delivery, then I would pay, even if it was going to be through mobile money. I would have to wait to receive my item before I paid for it. Mainly because you don't know if it will arrive or what kind of item, yeah, or what kind of item will arrive. And there were various jokes of how you ordered, what you ordered, and what you received. Yeah, so
Yes.
because of that, there was, and I think there's still a bit of that. People are very not comfortable sometimes with some e-commerce platforms, but one key thing
Mhm.
that helps is reviews. So if you have good reviews and people, someone looks around and sees a person who I can legit trust, then they are normally comfortable to just pay. So I would say there's quite a lot of e-commerce business going on, and mainly because people can pay using mobile money. All you really need is just to have a, it's called a pay bill number. So a business or a till number, someone just buys the goods and gives you a number, and then the money is credited to your M-Pesa account. So quite interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Mm.
It's I'm interested in the mobile money aspect that you mentioned, because in Ghana currently,
Mm.
this telecommunication provider MTN,
Mhm.
they were the ones who started this mobile money business, where they try to let customers connect such service to whatever it is that they are purchasing online.
Mhm.
But recently, the government of Ghana wants to tax that platform and that business, and it's really becoming a big issue here in Ghana. People are communicating so much, and people are saying that it is not fair. I don't know if that is the situation in Kenya.
Honestly, we are charged all manner of taxes on that on the mobile money. There's excise duty. The only tax I think we are not paying for the transfer of that is value added tax. But I think we're even paying excise duty on mobile data, which is I think the next question I wanted to ask you. Like, because to access internet, you need, when you buy data, you actually are charged excise duty on that. But the other thing is that also, in the Kenyan scenario, data is quite cheap. I wouldn't say it's very cheap, but I would say it's affordable. So for an average Kenyan, you can afford to buy data and access Facebook, Instagram, or just go online and do a search. And I'm saying this, when, like, for instance, a few African countries that I've been to, I know data is not as cheap as it is in Kenya. But that's the thing. I think also that's driving a lot of, like, even people posting things on Facebook. There's a big reach because uh, data is quite cheap. I'll give an example. For like $1, which is, let's say, like 100 Kenya shillings, you can get quite quite a good amount of data. So which you can use for relatively for to do a few things online. Of course, people feel maybe that it should be cheaper, but I would say, in all fairness, that it's not out of reach of the ordinary person. I don't know what the situation is like in Ghana.
Well, it's quite similar. Thanks to Africa iShare, I get to now read some of these documents, and I came across a document that said that about 50 million Ghanaians are using, they have access to internet, and the internet penetration currently is around 48%, which is, I think, is remarkable. And I tend to look at it in the aspect where Twitter even wants to set up their regional headquarters here in Ghana. But like I mentioned, with giant service providers like MTN and Vodafone, who have a large client base in various regions here in Ghana, internet is not too affordable, I must say, because I heard you mention about $1 where you can get quite a good internet data to buy. In Ghana, when you have about $1, you may not get that much. Um, and it's even expensive for households, because a friend of mine was also jokingly saying that it's only in Ghana where you can get a monthly package of data that you subscribe to it more than once, even though it says that it's a monthly package, because it gets exhaustive, quickly, and you have to subscribe again. And now people are even shifting to postpaid, especially companies, where you use the data and then at the end of the month they are able to pay. I mean, that saves you some form of interruptions. You may not know, you'll be in the middle of an important meeting and then just pump like that because your data went off. And now people are moving from the calls to data. So people don't have time. I realize that they would prefer to send you a WhatsApp message, call you WhatsApp video, Facebook Messenger, and that makes data quite expensive. But the call time is rather cheaper here in Ghana, but the data is expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. I what you're saying, because even here, call talk time, which is not the data, is also quite affordable, which I find like in some other African countries, it's cheaper to actually use WhatsApp to call than to buy talk time, which I think is something common here with between Ghana and Kenya. So you find in Kenya people still actually call you on the mobile number, not through WhatsApp, for instance, which is not common in other places where like almost all calls are not done because of how expensive it is to make voice calls. But voice calls are equally cheap, the cost of making them. So if I may ask, what also your opinion is about the future of the digital and tech in Ghana? Is it like a key emerging market, especially that Twitter is aiming to set up the regional office in Ghana? I'm sure there's something there. So what do you think?
Well, yes, I agree with you, Christine. I think Ghana is one of the countries that has a future when it comes to emerging area for this entire digital economy. And also, the IMF has clearly come out to say it, that Ghana is one of the countries that is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And it's not just because of our cocoa and our gold, but looking at other factors like the stability of our democracy and how the current government, especially, is formalizing the economy. That notwithstanding, there are certain challenges, of course, that comes with it, and so we should not let all these praises get into our heads. We should try as much as possible to structure our policies around digitizing through these innovations and learnings from other countries. I'm taking down notes, especially from Kenya, how even though some of these platforms are being taxed, data is even cheaper, and there are all VAT tax on other services, but still, you guys are really doing remarkably well. Um, it is up to us, especially now also that this AFCFTA area is in, where we're looking to have a wider market for the entire African region. This is not a time that we have to press the brakes on what we're getting up to do, but to draft, robust frameworks to protect customers and encourage online business and markets, and also how people pay for their goods and services, and not shy away from it. I mean, we should trust each other. If I know that I ordered for this commodity, I expect that the business will deliver the commodity same as I ordered, and then I even pay in advance without fear that I will get another product which was not what I ordered for. So I think yes, Ghana has a future for this digital economy in terms of marketing.
Okay, okay. So let me tell you a bit more about Kenya. It's interesting what you're saying about like the also the emerging market. So at some point, Kenya is within the East Africa community with like with the other countries, Uganda, Tanzania, and at some point and others, Rwanda and others. So at some point, Kenya they were discussing about having a single digital market. Yeah. So the idea was that instead of like having Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda have be looked at as each of their markets, then how about having a single digital market in within the East Africa community, which I thought was very very forward thinking, especially because that will increase the size of the market. When you think, for instance, if someone wanted, let's say, a small e-commerce platform starts in Kenya and they want to expand. If it's a single market, of course, like the cost of regulation and maybe the cost of like internet will be a bit more standard. So you might be able to operate across borders. And also things like if I'm coming from Tanzania coming into Kenya, I'm already familiar with these platforms. So I could when I come to Kenya, I don't feel uncomfortable about like shopping on this e-commerce platform that is just new or making an order for these things. So think about it like how, because I've used Airbnb in different places, I'm familiar with it. If I'm going to Ghana, the day I go to Ghana, as I plan to, I will not, I'll be very comfortable booking accommodation on Airbnb. It's a whole concept of if you're familiar with like a platform. Once you go to this other country, if you are single market, then it makes it easier for you to use it. So which I like what you're saying about like the after like the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. If there was a single African digital market, that would shoot up like how much digital content is created within Africa. It also gives greater negotiating power for Africa with like other international players. So for instance, if Facebook is not looking at Ghana as Ghana alone. It looks at Africa. We are Facebook Africa, and if like Facebook is like does something in terms of like how governments are trying to tax them, and they are not able to enforce as a continent, you have much better ways of enforcing than a single African country. So I think looking at it like as a huge market and opening up the digital market would help. Also consider like for instance, Kweku, if your like the Google results for Ghana and Kenya because of the territorial boundaries that have been set, the content is different, yeah. So that you see like someone watching Netflix in South Africa and Netflix in Kenya, the content on Netflix on that side is different from my content. Same with Nigeria. But if also when you think about like content that can help all of us, so if like I'm studying and I need content about Ghana, but I have restrictions based on what Google wants me to learn about Ghana, and like if I was in Ghana, you see, it expands my content if we have like a one market. But yeah, it's just to add on to the point of like as an emerging market, each African country has this huge potential. But I think that potential would be great if it was like brought together for all countries.
I
uh
agree. I totally agree. I totally agree.
yeah.
Like I mentioned, I'm really learning a lot. This single digital market, clearly, it's a way to go for Ghana because we can't have separate markets all over where you are not familiar with a particular platform. You won't even trust the system. But once we have a single market, digital market, I think it's going to lead us far and we are really going to develop as a whole. I agree.
Hmm. Okay. As we wind down, you could possibly tell us if there are any incentives that the government of Ghana is giving for people investing within the Ghana digital economy. And also, what would you say are the opportunities? Like, for instance, so sell Ghana to me. Kweku, I want to come set up a digital e-commerce platform in Ghana. Like, what opportunities exist? What would you say this is something that could work here? I will equally share the secrets of Kenya. So go first.
Well, Christine, I would say that you are really welcome to set up here in Ghana because, like I mentioned earlier, this government, especially, I would say, I mean, they've done so well in terms of formalizing this entire um, um, digitalization of the economy. They've tried to put in place a system where you have every national citizen having a unique ID. We have our street naming in place and the address system. It means that when you order something with your GPS, it's gonna come straight to where you are. Um, Even to the extent that we have this e-pharmacy and e-health policies in place where we even have drones delivering drugs, medicine. And they are so serious to the extent that the entire ministry brought some about three or four technological companies together, um, with various tasks. They have this one called the National Information Technology Agency. They were responsible for implementing all the government IT policies, the innovative technologies that will lead Ghana towards the technology driven country that is supposed to be. And so they came up with platforms that will help Ghana as a whole put in projects where the government has implemented the progress of it, how much they've spent, and they even give the option of Ghanaians to even comment on it and come up with their views as well. They have another company coming in to accelerate the widespread of whether it's supposed to be a 3G network or a 4G network, which we are all heading towards the 5G, which is not in Ghana, but we hope to get there. They have another one that is trying to bring interoperability in terms of, for example, when I'm on Vodafone, I can send money to someone who is using MTN, someone who is using a different network. And so in Ghana, we are trying so much to, meet up the the stance that we have in order to be the technological hub that we also want to get. Until recently, with this all tax and e-commerce online businesses that the government of Ghana wants to tax, that is bringing about panic withdrawals in some of these mobile money ventures. People are scared. I mean, taxes are good, like they say, but once you want to tax, people do not understand it and they tend to panic. People now feel like they want to travel with money, and it comes with all it's all scare and all that. An area that I think will be much of interest will be, creating awareness and building the capacity of Ghanaians in terms of digital literacy. So that, for example, my grandmother who is in a village is not afraid to use WhatsApp or even text or even Facebook. For example, when you go and you're filling forms, the uncles would have to call you, what is the digital address system where I live, because they don't even know. And they feel like, once we give you that address, someone is going to come over to my house, attack me, all these mindsets. It's something that we have to really change the mindsets of people. We have to change the mindsets of people. And I believe it can be done both formally and informally. School children should have the opportunity to learn so that when they go home, they're able to educate their parents. All these coding, programming software should be made available to children. And I keep stressing on learning because we have to change our mindsets. And that is one of the reasons why I even appreciate Africa iShare so much for creating this platform that would encourage countries sharing their experiences and then learning from each other. Yeah.
Okay, okay, Coco, it was quite interesting that you want your grandma to start using Facebook. I mean, Coco, surely. It's okay, very progressive right there. But I would say Ghana sounds to be very ahead when it comes, especially to what you're calling like marking of like a street naming and like having everyone mapped, every place mapped on online. In Kenya, that hasn't been done yet. So, like for instance, when I need someone to deliver something at my house, it's it's an extreme sport explaining and telling them you get to the corner and then take the next corner and just turn left. Make sure it's the right left, you know. So yeah, but that hasn't been done fully, and especially and that's even in the towns, yeah. So you can imagine what happens when you go out of towns. When you go out of towns, it's pure. I don't even think you can deliver something following any form of map. You just completely would get lost. But so I think that for Kenya, that still remains to be a gap. I don't know if anyone is trying to address it. But what I like about what you said about Ghana is that the government seems to be looking for solutions that will push Ghana forward in terms of like the digital trade and the digital economy. In Kenya, I would say the government is more focused on developing systems that work for the government departments. So, for instance, if it's like the land registry, they have digitalized the land system, but that's because it's benefiting Kenyans, but also because it's for the department to go more into the digital side. If you look at the revenue authority, everything is done online right now. Like 100% of what you do on paying taxes in Kenya is done online. But then again, it's so that you can collect more taxes. A lot of government services that are offered, they have been digitalized. But if you look at it, it's yes, there's convenience, but you see, it's the government is more inward looking at itself to facilitate its own collection, its own tracking of people and such things. Yeah. So in Kenya, it's different in that way. Yeah.
Well, we learn from each other.
Yeah, we do, we do. But Kuku, I'll let you make any closing remarks that you may have, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. Yeah.
Oh, nothing much again to say than to say thank you, Africa iShare, for creating this platform that, like I keep saying, is encouraging learnings across countries. And Africa iShare, you are welcome to visit Ghana. The economy in Ghana is favorable. We want to host you. We are hospitable in nature. Our weather is great. Our jollof is tastier. Um, our beaches, our beaches and our castles, they really have a history to tell. Our airports and land borders are open post COVID era. You can get a visa on arrival, so we will be happy to host you. I mean, whenever you're ready, just let us know. We will try and make the necessary arrangements to have you in country. And thank you so much, Africa iShare. It's an honor to always be part of this program and also to learn from you. I say go Africa iShare.
Thanks so much, Kirku. This is everyone. When if we ever invite you, this is what you should emulate to just sound that positive and happy to be part of this platform. But Kirku, it's so nice to have you. And personally, I will definitely be in Ghana, hopefully in the course of this year, and we will aim to record an episode when I'm there. So like literally just with this, looking at the situation as is in Ghana, and just like I'm sure it will be quite a lot of things to learn and look at and share. But it has been very interesting to do this. We hopefully will have a session where we invite you back, maybe with someone else now from maybe Nigeria, to have the discussion that we spoke a bit about earlier about like the creative industry in Nigeria, how they're able to produce their Nigerian movies and keep it going. Well, in Ghana and Kenya, it's really not as good as that. But we will definitely keep in touch and have more talks. And for everyone who gets to listen to this, thank you very much. And we hope that you learn and you will get to share ideas with us at some point. Thanks a lot.